Hi, everybody. My name is Rob Abel. I'm from the IMS Global Learning Consortium, and welcome to our Learning Impact on Demand series. We're here to explore the topic of effective digital teaching and learning and what we're experiencing in light of accelerated movement to online, virtual, and distance education in the age of COVID-19 and beyond, hearing from leading IMS members, the smartest people on the planet when it comes to EdTech. Today, we have a 10-minute leadership interview on this topic, and we're very pleased to have with us Tim Tomlinson, who is the Chief Product Officer at Blackboard, a leading education technology and services company, and of course, provider of the Blackboard LMS. Welcome, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Thanks for the invitation. Looking forward to the conversation today.
Great to have you. Well, what we'd like to hone in on here for the audience is really getting your insights from this unprecedented time, the acceleration, scaling up of digital learning, some done well, some perhaps not so well, all the way in between. The impact of COVID-19 is unpredictable in terms of how long it's going to last. And from your vantage point, we'd like to hear what you're learning right now and how things may be different in the future. So let's start with right now. What do you think we've learned so far? What have you folks at Blackboard been dealing with in this unprecedented scale up? And maybe what have been some of the highest priorities you've seen out there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the first thing and the highest priority has been making sure that the services we provide, both technology and other support, have been able to scale to meet really unprecedented levels of demand. We had a pretty exciting, I'd say, second half of March, really working with our partners, particularly AWS, to make sure that we had the resources in place to effectively service the level of scale that we were seeing from our clients, which has really just been astounding as everybody around the globe in a very compressed period of time moved quickly. Really first and foremost was kind of the rush to synchronous classroom environments. And we really saw that impact with our Collaborate virtual classroom solution. We've seen multiple orders of magnitude in increases in usage on that solution. But that has really been the first priority, has really just been responding to the pace and the scale, both with our technology and also offering our expertise in online learning and digital transformation to the community, both our clients and the rest of the community. And we've done that through offering a lot of free webinars, a lot of tools available on our website around just how to approach online learning, particularly for instructors that have really been sort of thrust into this, that maybe didn't have that experience providing online instruction previously.
Right. Yeah, and I was thinking as you were saying that, you guys with your global reach really is interesting because the scale up really has been occurring all over the world, not just here in the United States.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Rob, because we really did kind of see it come in waves. Really, first it was from parts of Asia Pacific and the Middle East, and that was really kind of early March. And then mid-March, we really saw those waves come through Europe and then North America and trailing a little bit in Latin America, and kind of the Australia, New Zealand region. But the impact really has been global.
Wow. Yeah. Very, very interesting. So how about, fall, back to school? What do you think might be different there? Are there some highly effective practices that are getting learned now that, whether it's K-12 school districts or higher institutions, they'll have a chance to actually put those in place maybe with a little preparation for the fall that you're seeing?
Yeah, and I think really a lot of the best practices here apply equally across higher ed and K-12. And a lot of it goes back to the comment I made earlier that, sort of in the initial crisis mode, just working to provide educational continuity in the current term, really everyone's first instinct was to rush to synchronous, right? And to think about how do I most easily replace that time in classroom with time face-to-face online. And what we're starting to see from institutions as they've moved through that initial crisis, provided that continuity, current terms are starting to come to a close and they're planning ahead for what's going to be next in the summer or in the fall in the Northern Hemisphere. First, just a recognition that there's a lot of uncertainty. And so districts really need to be prepared for everything. And I think a lot of that means having a comprehensive strategy around how best to balance opportunities for a return to some face-to-face instruction with having the right practices and the right infrastructure in place to supplement that instruction with continued online instruction and to be ready to move back to a full online instruction model if that's warranted by the situation. So really the thinking has evolved and we're working with institutions and hearing from a lot of institutions that the thinking is starting to move from how do I do online quickly to how do I do online well, and understanding that there really is a difference between kind of remote delivery and truly engaging in effective online learning practices and pedagogy.
Right.
And so really that's the place where we're seeing the emerging focus and that shift in focus now.
Yeah, I guess it just occurred to me as you're talking, but I guess we're perhaps in the fall truly going to see blended learning at scale, right? I mean, truly it's going to be really kind of another interesting phase of this. How about,
absolutely. And certainly some of the things that we're recommending to institutions as they prepare for those likely blended scenarios are to focus over the summer on things like professional development for instructors, course refinement, leveraging and extending where they can instructional design practices, and also starting to think about measurement. And as a lot of that instruction moves online, what are both the needs to be able to measure for efficacy of instruction, and what are the new opportunities that are provided by having, a larger cohort of an institution engaged in deeper online instruction.
Right. Those are great insights. Now, how about further down the line? What may have become changed now forever from this experience, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, certainly I think that whatever normal looks like on the other side of this, it is absolutely going to be a new normal, and particularly in educational settings. I think the experience that students, instructors, institutions have now had with online learning formats are really going to create a fundamental shift in the thinking about how to most effectively deliver education, sort of regardless of what that modality is. And I really think that we're going to see fundamental increases in technology adoption, acceleration of digital transformation at institutions, and a real fundamental shift in how institutions think about online learning as a component of an effective overall strategy for how to best deliver education, rather than what historically I think has kind of been an artificial distinction between institutions have on-campus programs and online programs. I think we're really going to see a long-term blurring of those lines in a way that I think is going to bring a lot of benefits to the community.
Great. So finally, thank you for being a leader, you and Blackboard together in our nonprofit work here at the IMS Global Learning Consortium. How would you describe the impact of the work of IMS Global now and going forward as it relates to this?
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked this question, Rob, because I think this has, I think this experience has been a great proof point for a lot of elements of technology. It's been a great proof point for, for cloud-based computing that has allowed, not just the edtech industry, but technology industries in general to scale in a way to meet the surge in demand that just wouldn't have been possible prior to the broad adoption of cloud technologies. And I think it also really has been a great proof point for the work that the IMS has done around supporting a really healthy edtech ecosystem, and particularly around LTI. And Rob, I've been a passionate supporter of LTI. Been involved, since the early days with Dr. Chuck and many others. And the things that LTI has allowed us to do quickly in this environment to make sure that we're that we're effectively supporting the right ecosystem for every institution and allowing them to bring the right tools together in a connected way to meet those emerging needs, I really do think has been just a great proof point for the work of the IMS and the community around IMS, and it's something that we should all be very proud of.
I agree. That's awesome. Thank you, Tim, for your insights, and thanks to our viewers for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you back here for more of our series on highly effective digital teaching and learning. This is Rob Abel saying bye for now, and let's keep the learning going.
Great. Thanks, Rob.